Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to another Conan Exiles guide. You guys have been smashing it. We are hitting so many new subs, so many likes on the videos. Keep it up. Go and check out all my other guides tutorials. Today is part 2 of my resources guide. Part 1 I showed you where to find all the minerals, star metal, silverstone, lots of ironstone, as well as others that you desperately needed. Today we're going to be taking a look at most of the rest and what you need to do with some of them to get the most use. I'll show you some easy locations and the best way to harvest some of these resources. So make sure you like this video and let's crack on with another Conan Exiles tips guide. Today is mostly going to be plants, bark, all sorts of stuff like that, including how to make the yellow Lotus Blossom potion. The yellow Lotus potion is vital as it allows you to respec all your skill points and your feat points. How to get silk and how to get Ichor. You're going to need lots of these items if you want to make more advanced armor and weapons and lots of the more advanced building pieces. When you're playing on official servers and a lot of the time you're raiding, you will be going after people's bark supplies, I kid you not. Bark burns twice as long as normal wood and you need it for dryers and tanneries. Go up to any tree and start hitting it with a pickaxe. You'll notice you'll get a little bit of wood and the bark. But it's the dead trees like the one I just showed you that give you the most bark out of any of the trees. You can see I'm only getting a small amount here just on this cactus tree. So always go for the white dead trees in the desert area and look how much bark you get. At level 10 you can unlock the tannery. This is how you're going to make leather. Placing hide and thick hide in here and making sure that the tannery is using the bark will give you special leather. You'll notice you can't put wood or even dried wood in the tannery, it has to be bark. That's why it's so important. A byproduct of making leather as well is shitloads of tar. Next up is going to be Gossamer, otherwise known as silk. You're going to be heading to H4-5 on the border, just across the Noob River, just past Ganneman's Tomb and Carver's Crest. All around this section you are going to run into an absolute shed ton of spiders. Once you've cleared them out, you want to start looking for these little deposits. You simply have to go around and start gathering them up. Now previously you used to use a pick to gather them, but I think they've nerfed that since. As you just saw there, I wasn't gaining any when using the pick. This is one of the nearest spots to Noob River, so this is why I say it's the easiest. But you can see you can get plenty just on this spot here. I'm going to show you one more location. This location's a little bit further north, so particularly if you are building your base somewhere here, this might be one of the better locations to come. But anywhere you find spiders in caves, you've got a good chance of finding Gossamer. We're at 7G here, like I said, just above the river, and you should see a tiny little cave entrance before you get to the causeway. This is Scotland's shortcut. Now be warned, there's plenty of spiders in this location as well, so you may want to make sure you've got plenty of resources, health potions and maybe some anti-poison. You'll also find plenty of crystal in this location too. Without going too far deep into the cave, you will find plenty of gossamer lying around. Silk is used to make a whole bunch of different materials and items, mostly decorative in the artisan table, which again is available at level 10. But what you really want to be using silk for is to make different types of armour. Silk is used for crafting a lot of the epic armour sets that you can craft in the armourer's bench. Things like Shemite and Zamorian Thief, that's the kind of stuff you can make with silk. You craft your silk by hand, so it can take a bit of a while. But if you do manage to get hold of a tier 2, 3, 4 thrall, you can set them to work at the armourer's bench and they'll craft it for you. By placing your armour or thrall on your armourer's bench, you can now see you've got the option to craft it there too. You're also going to need a lot of silk if you want to make more sturdy bows. In fact, you need silk to make sturdy string. And then with that, you should be able to go ahead and start making other stuff like more of the advanced bows. And if you with Dekertu, the pleasure goddess, you can craft the end game armour that she provides. But you're going to need a few other things than just the silk. Just a quick FYI regarding things like horns, claws and furs. Obviously whatever animal you kill, if you harvest it with the right tool, normally a cleaver or some sort of actual carving dagger, that's how you're going to get all of them items. If you need ivory, where'd you get ivory from? Elephants. Generally, if you want more body pieces, use the cleaver, and use a skinning knife if you want more skins, hides and furs. So I'm not necessarily going to go and list exactly where to find them pieces, as it's pretty self-explanatory. Now, Yellow Lotus Blossom is important if you want to respec your feat points. You can find it pretty much all around the map in very small little tiny amounts, but the biggest amount is on Talif's Island. This is just situated past the desert around 8H, and this is one of the better spots to find it. Now you can gather it up and you'll get a fair amount, but if you actually use a sickle you'll get a lot more. Just look how much more I'm getting using this. As a rule of thumb, if it's a plant, always try and use a sickle on it and you'll get a hell of a lot more. You can also use the seeds that you get and compost, and you can make Yellow Lotus Blossom. Yellow Lotus Blossom is used in a bunch of different things. You can make a potion of bestial memory or just a simple yellow lotus potion, and they will both do the same job. You can also make the potion of natural learning, and it's also good for various brews and soups. As you can see, it's literally all over this spot. We're going to use it and see what happens. You can see all my attributes and all my feats have been reset. So if you want to respec your character, you want to change up your build, that's exactly what you need to do it. To make the potion you're going to need a fireball cauldron, which can't be unlocked until level 15. It's pretty simple to make, you only need 10 of them and you can craft a lotus potion. I will be covering potions much more detailed in a separate video, going over all of the different lotus flowers and all of the different food types that you can make to give yourself buffs. Bit of an extra tiny one, leavening agent, which helps make loads of beers, wines and sort of breads, will be really beneficial if you're exploring either really cold or really hot areas. Depending on what you make, combining it with different types of berries, you can pretty much get buffs and debuffs against the cold, hypothermia, as well as just making sure you're safe in really hot locations. You'll find it pretty much in the jungles of the east. I put this on the end of my other resource guide, but resin is also really important, so I'm showing you again. Basically, go up to the highlands and attack any tree with a pickaxe and you'll get some resin. Now if you want more resin, you can use a sickle. By using the sickle you'll get nothing but resin, but it just depends on whether or not you need some of the other resources. It's probably worth using the pick because you will get the bark as well. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at Ichor. Now Ichor you get pretty much from spiders. When you harvest their bodies, any sort of creature like that, and you should get some Ichor. You can also get Ichor from doing a certain few things with your crafting benches. And whatever you do, don't throw away anything like putrid meat. You need to bring it over to a fluid press, pop the putrid meat inside, and put it inside the fluid press. Now you do need a lot and you don't get much. You can see I'm only getting literally 1 Ichor for 50 putrid meat, but you'll be surprised how often you'll come back and find that some of your meat has gone off, or you just happen to have collected quite a lot. Ichor is really important. You'll also get Ichor from putting abysmal flesh, which you can get from completing a dungeon, the dregs. Spoilers, basically kill the boss in that dungeon and harvest him and you'll get absolute loads of the abysmal flesh. But the best way to get Ichor quickly and easily is by going fishing. Once you've got a bunch of fish, head to a campfire, pop the fish inside and you'll start crafting up lots of cooked fish. The byproduct of that is that you also get Ichor. So you'll get a good food source and you'll get some of this much needed resource. You need Ichor to make alchemical base and corrupted stones, as well as a bunch of different other ingredients. You'll also need some of it for some of the dyes. Alchemical base is pretty much what you're going to be using your fireball cauldron for to make real hardened steels or really epic armour and weapons. Spider caves are going to be some of the best shout outs for getting lots of Ichor in one spot though. So if you are pretty leveled up and you've got decent armour and weapons, you may want to consider going to these spots. Remember, I am cheating, I've got infinite health on just to roll around the map and show you these locations quickly. But if you look at F5 or E5 just on the border, follow the river up and on the right hand side you'll notice this little cave. Once you've cleared the few spiders that come out, you can see it's here. You might not even have to go into the cave and you'll get plenty of these bad boys coming out. And you see, if you use a pickaxe you'll get much more Ichor. This is one of them rare occasions you shouldn't be using any sort of cleaver. I've just got 24 Ichor from about 4 or 5 spiders. Scorpions also give it to you as well. And if you really want to just go down the fishing route, you're going to need to be at least level 17 so you can unlock the fish traps. Plonk these down in the water and then you should be able to get plenty of the fish come through and then just cook them like I showed you earlier. A new addition in mid 2018. Another way to get Ichor is with certain pets in animal pens. By leaving certain creatures like spiders and reapers in here alongside abysmal flesh, they will also make you Ichor over time. But the best method really is to just go fishing and leave them. There are so many other resources and flowers and seeds that I can be showing you, but some of it is just a bit too basic I think for you guys. You're brainy enough to work out that if you find aloe leaves you can use them to craft healing bandages. I will be doing more detailed guides showing you where to get some of the blood items. Basically how to get demon's blood, sacred blood, and some of the poisonous glands like sand beast bile, sand reaper toxin and serpent venom glands. That's all going to be coming in another separate video. I'm just going to finish off though by showing you exactly how much resources you can get with different items. Basically what tool does the best job. If we take a look at the humble pick, bearing in mind I'm on my private server so it's a little bit boosted, you'll notice I get between sort of 12 and maybe 10 pieces of stone. If we move on to the iron pick, we get around 12 to 15 pieces of stone. If we use a steel pick, we're going to be getting 18 to 15 pieces of stone. If we use a hardened steel pick, you're going to be getting 18 to 20 plus. If we use a black ice one, you can get 21 to up to 25. And if we use the Ichor pick, which is one of the best in the game, you can see I'm getting plus of 25 up to 27. It may seem like small amounts, but particularly when you're harvesting certain resources, the more you get the better, obviously. For clarity though, when you use a stone pick, you're generally doing around 3 damage. Obviously use a pick for things like stone and metal resources. Use an axe for things like trees, but remember use a pickaxe if you want bark from trees. But if it's just wood you want, make sure you use an axe. Use a cleaver for creatures when you want their heads or you want more body parts. And use an actual knife, which you can get the skinning knives when you want more hide. I will go through this in a little bit more detail when I'm talking about certain tools. But I thought it's worth pointing out since this is a guide basically showing you how to get some of these better, harder to get resources. And that is pretty much it. Like I said, I will be back. I'm going to be showing you how to get some of the blood items and just generally some of the more harder to get, more obscure things. But before that, more importantly, I am going to show you how to start crafting up these materials so that you can get something like hardened steel, as well as how to make tar. And generally just top tips on getting the most resources, the most items out of what you're gathering and what you're crafting. I am Jade, this has been a CONAN EXILES video. If it's helped you out, make sure you like it, and I'll see you guys for another one very soon. Laters!